what inspired you to create PiYo?
What inspired me to create PiYo was my own inflexibility, and just doing so much research on the, greater strength potential and the just freedom of movement and feeling better and reducing injuries and just the physical results. I knew I needed to address my own flexibility, and so I started taking Pilates and yoga classes to do that, and I felt like a fish out of water. I felt like I was having a panic attack. I just felt like I was in the wrong place. I felt like, oh my gosh, everybody in here is super calm and very flexible, and how did that girl just get her nose down by her knee? And, I felt out of place, but I knew I needed it, and I didn't like feeling out of place like that. I didn't like holding still, and I didn't like the fact that the only way I was going to get super sweaty is if I was in a room where they had turned up the heat to 90 degrees, and that just didn't make sense to me. I want to move, and I want to sweat not because the heat's turned up, but because my body temperature's turned up. And, I was just I actually got kicked out of a yoga class. True story.
Wow.
Because the instructor was like, you need to just stop moving and stop talking and just hold still. Just surrender, were the words she uses, just surrender. And I think there's a place for a lot of people who love that, and it's a beautiful practice. And just like all things, there's something for everyone. You've got to find your fit. That wasn't my fit. And so I wanted to create a workout that would address what I saw as a big chunk of the population who didn't feel comfortable in a yoga class. They didn't feel graceful enough to be in a Pilates class, but yet they understand, I got to get flexible. I need this. But I want to move, and I don't want to have to schedule cardio then later in the day and strength later in the day. I want it all in one workout. And I was with a friend in Vegas many years ago before I created PiYo, and we were talking about this. And I'd seen Cirque du Soleil the night before with my husband, and we were working out at a 24-hour fitness with my girlfriend who lived in Las Vegas, and she said, see that girl over there? She's in the production you just saw. And I was watching her train at the gym. And she had the most amazing body, and she was doing all these different very dynamic, flowing body weight exercises, and her body was just incredibly toned and chiseled, but yet still feminine. And all the men in the show just looked so masculine and strong, and just like gymnasts, but they weren't doing gymnastics. And I thought, I've got to tap into this body weight training and flexibility and combine it all together. And so I created it very much to solve my own problem, because I knew there was a massive amount of people out there who felt the same way. I need flexibility training. I don't have time to train later again in the day, and I need results.
Yeah, that's, you're describing this, and you're describing me in a lot of respects, because I love to work out. I love the cardio aspect of it. If I have to default to something, I'll default to that.
Yep.
If I'm doing some of the other programs and it's yoga day or Pilates day, I almost want to avoid it like the plague, because I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to slow down. I'm not going to feel like a workout. I always feel phenomenal after from a flexibility standpoint, but then I always feel like, okay, I got to still get something going. So So tell us just a little bit more about that. So you've really struck this beautiful balance, if you will, of the Pilates, yoga, yet in a stepped up. That may not be your words, but in a way that still pushes you. So describe a little bit about the program. I would have to say,
my only regret is that I named the program PiYo. And I say that because I think people will think Pilates and yoga, and it's just a fraction. There's just some influence of those two formats, but it's so much more. It's athletic stretch. It's stuff that I've learned from watching the conditioning coaches from the NFL, from professional sporting teams, from the things that I've learned about body weight training and the best ways to train your core, and it's all rolled into one incredibly dynamic program that we've called PiYo, but I think it's so limiting for anyone to assume that it's Pilates and yoga combined, because it's not. It's got some of those influences, but PiYo is its own unique format that you've never done something like this before. It is transformational, whereas a lot of Pilates and yoga programs, like you said, it feels fantastic, but you don't see the kind of results. That's why we don't see, yoga infomercials on TV, because they just don't transform bodies the way people need. And so it's so much more than Pilates and yoga. It's really its own unique program. And what I've created for the gyms, I don't know, I guess it's probably 12 years ago now, is just a fraction of what our Beachbody customers are going to get in PiYo. The home DVD program is so robust. It's so much bigger, so much fuller, so much more of an experience than even what I designed for the health clubs. I can't wait for people to get it. I'm freaking out.
Well, so let me ask a very artful question, okay, a very delicate and artful question. Would I finish this program and say, I just got my butt kicked?
Yes, you would. Yeah.
Awesome.
You absolutely would. And there's no piece of it where you're high impact. It's so incredibly transforming without having to kill your joints. That was the other conversation Carl and I had, because we've been talking about PiYo for years. And what happened is, that little backstory is, I created Chalene Extreme and then Turbo Fire. And, I practice what I preach, so when I put something on my plate, I try to take something else off. So I had to go, okay, what am I going to take off my schedule? I'm still lifting, so there's my Chalene Extreme workouts. I'm still going to do those. And I still need my cardio, so I'm still going to do my Turbo Fire, Turbo Jam workouts. Well, I'll just stretch on the side. I'll get rid of my PiYo workouts at the gym. So I stopped teaching PiYo for about 4.5 years. True story. We were still creating it for our customers, but I wasn't teaching it and I wasn't practicing it. And for those customers who've been with us for a long time, or followed me on my blogs and Facebook posts, I spent about 18 months just debilitated with reoccurring injuries. A hamstring pull, followed by plantar fasciitis, followed by a hip pull, followed by a lower back strain, followed by a rib strain, followed by, I was like, what is wrong with me? And I was working with a kinesiologist, and I said to him laughingly, like I was seeing him like 3 times a week with something new. And I said to him, I guess this is just part of getting old, huh? And he kind of looked at me funny, surprised. He goes, no, this is because you've lost your flexibility. You just have to get flexible again. And I was like, oh, holy cow. You're right. I'm not old. I'm just not flexible. So I went back and I picked up all my PiYo classes again, and I dug in deep. And you can ask anyone who knows me personally. I haven't had injuries in 3 years, 2.5 years since I started going deep back into PiYo. And my body started to change. You can see it if you watch the Turbo Fire DVDs, the second series that we did, all low impact, the ones where there's brick in the background. That whole series is when I just started to cut back on certain areas and really just focus on PiYo and Turbo Fire, and my body really just started to go, this is what we've been needing. You need to take it you need to get strong from the inside out. Stop beating up your body, and I think people, you're going to see and feel the difference. Your body is craving to be restored. Your body is craving flexibility. If you wake up in the morning and you feel like you need a walker to get to the restroom and, you feel old and beat up, that's what's going on, and that goes away. That's not old.
I can put the walker away now?
You can put the walker away.
I love it. So, early when we were talking about Turbo Fire, you were talking a little bit about, it's the hit, it's hitting the beat, type of a thing.
Yes.
Which is, it feels a little more choreographed. So, is there choreography in PiYo?
Well, I mean, I guess there's, I guess choreography, but not dance choreography. Choreography in that there's a sequence of exercises that you would follow, but there's never like a grapevine kick and heel and heel and heel tap. It's none of that. It's like, okay, let's fold in half, go into downward dog, step through with your right foot, left arm goes up to the sky. It's a sequence. It's not, there's definitely no, you don't have to be super coordinated, trust me. Anyone can do it.
How many workouts are there? Tell us a little bit about the program.
I don't know how many workouts there are. I suppose I should know that, but I can tell you what I filmed. I can tell you that the workouts range from 25 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
And I designed to. I know a lot of people have tried PiYo in the gyms, and I want you to know that's like a sampler plate. You've really just gotten a little tiny piece of every portion of a turbo experience. The program we've created for our at-home customer allows you not just to customize your workout, but to customize your emphasis and your focus for that day. So when you take a PiYo workout in the gym, you're going to get a little, 5 minutes where we focus on the whole body, 5 minutes when we just focus on the glutes, 5 minutes when we just focus on the core, 5 minutes where we just focus on dynamic stretch. And when we designed this workout, I wanted people to go, my trouble area is my booty. And I want to get strong and flexible, and I want a booty lift. So we would create literally a 35-minute workout that gets you flexible everywhere, gives you your cardio workout, but you become more flexible, and it just targets the glutes. And then we created a second workout that's just upper body, but, you're still getting flexibility training for your lower body. And then one for core, and one that's really intended to almost give you the benefits of HIIT training, where we're working in intervals, but it's all completely low impact, and it's created so that you build that dynamic, powerful stretch that comes from, or powerful strength that comes from body weight training. So each and every workout, you can combine them if you want a long workout, or you can really customize it and say, okay, I just want to do 25 minutes today, and I want to get my cardio in, and I want to get my strength in, and I want to be more flexible, and I just want to focus on my abs, or I just want to focus on my glutes or my arms. And I think people are going to love that.
Sounds great. So this next question is a little bit like asking, which is your favorite child? Is there such thing as one of your favorite workouts in this series that you've put together, or do they all come together?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, because there's some that I love because they're so hard that I love it because it was intense, and there's some I love just because of the way it makes my body feel. I love them all. I think I have a gag order on me not to talk about some of the things that are in the program.
You're good then.
Okay, but there's some really cool things that Beachbody's never done before. I think that's all that I can say. I feel like Heather Church might be listening in on this call. I would get in trouble for sharing too much, but gosh, if you guys aren't coming to Summit, find a way to be there. If you know someone who's going, text them right now and say, please bring me home, PiYo, because it's going to change. I mean, it's the program Beachbody's, and I hope I'm not biased, but I really think this is the program that Beachbody's been needing. They've needed a program that just, it restores the body, and I mean, and listen, I've got plenty of programs where you're jumping up and down. I'm so happy to bring a program to people that it's actually going to make a change in the way they look and feel, and actually restore their joints, their knees, their back, and give them results.
It's awesome. Just we're running out of time here, so maybe just two questions. The first is, again, who is PiYo for? And then any last, you've kind of closed it out right there with what you just said, but any other just last thoughts on it? So who's it for? And last thoughts, that if I haven't asked you a question on something you wanted to share, what would you share?
I would say that PiYo is really ideal for someone who either has any type of joint or knee or back problems, and so they have a difficult time even watching a modifier in our other programs. It still feels intimidating because everybody else in the video is jumping around, even when there is a modifier. I think this program in particular is well suited for those cardio junkies who have beat themselves up and they've hit a plateau, or they're dealing with injuries and they keep thinking it's because of this or that, and it's truthfully because they haven't spent enough time on their flexibility. I think PiYo is ideal for somebody who is just getting into fitness. And it's scary to go 100 miles per hour and kick and punch and jump. Or, the Shaun T's programs might be too intense, too intimidating. And that this is a great on-ramp for anyone who, but yet you want it, because when you introduce someone to a program, if they don't see results, it's tough to talk them into understanding how beneficial Shakeology is, or anything else for that matter. So people need to see results, and with this program, even though it's a great on-ramp program, it can be customized to be as intense as it need be for the customer.
Well, I'm excited about it personally because, I mean, just as you started out describing this, you know, you kind of go, I need that thing that keeps me going but creates flexibility. And as I get older, which we all are, right? But the flexibility.
Speak for yourself, Jeff.
You know, well, believe me. And I keep going, this is the kind of thing, you know, that I need.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about it. And the other thing I love is that you always bring, you know, tremendous personality, but a high sense of, you know, energy and passion, and you can't help but have, you know, just the endorphins, you know, kind of working through that, you know, just sets up the day perfectly as well. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think this is going to be an absolutely incredible program, and coaches, as you listen to this, hopefully you've gotten a better sense